Yes? Yeah.
Okay.
Changes.
So these are areas of the DMS. Statistics is here. If you write grant for the conference, it will go to infrastructure. Sometimes statisticians are useful in mathematical biology if they have the interface between biological sciences. What else? Pretty much infrastructure, statistics, mathematical biology. If you do probability, that is also a possibility. So how money is spent? 70% is spent for grants, and then institutes, workforce, and infrastructure. So some highlights from 1950s, NSF funded 256 Nobel Prize winners. Internet was conceived by the proposal, DARPA initiative involving NSF. Ended up with all these precursors to internet, Mosaic. Maybe some of you remember Mosaic, maybe don't. Google, Page and Green, that was supported by NSF. So GPS was supported, barcodes, black hole discovery in the center of Milky Way, black hole image in galaxy, Messier, CAD, CAM, dark energy, exoplanets, network of Doppler radars, Fermat theorem, gamma ray bursts. So program of interest to students at junior faculty. Postdoctoral research fellowships. Some of you, and some here in the department applied, some were successful. We have some people present here, and some people are waiting for results. And there are faculty early career development program career proposals. This is something that if you are really shooting high, you may consider career proposal. This is a special type of proposals. It is very competitive. Every year, NSF gives about 10 to 12 career proposals in statistics. And you may imagine over all the United States to be one of 12 in the generation. It's very competitive. So graduate research fellowships, some of you know, it is stipend by NSF, 3-year annual. It was 34, I don't know now. It is usually applied in October month, 2024 for the next round. I believe that first-year students, graduate students have possibility to apply for those. It is prestigious. Must be US citizen, national or permanent resident. There are some requirements. So you may well go to the NSF page, check the requirements. Now, career, most prestigious. It is 5-year award as opposed to 3-year usual awards. It is useful for career to have already grants. And it has to be done before you get to associate professor. People who evaluate career proposals are usually senior professors. And when they get career proposals, they just leave back to see your Vita. And then they make judgment based on Vita, how much you published, did you have any grant proposals? Then they go to the first page and start reading. You have 3 times chance to fight for this proposal, not more than 3. Only once you can get it. The difference between usual proposal and career is that you may spend some time explaining how you connect your research and teaching education. Minimum award is 400,000, and it goes up. But it happened once I was in the panel, and the guy, I believe from Cornell, the guy was asked to scale down the budget. And he scaled down to 3,999,999. And the budget of NSF return back proposal, it cannot be dollar less than 400,000. Tells you how bureaucracy works. Programs of interest to you guys, disciplinary statistics. Then there is overall program called CDS and E. Computational data science and engineering, mathematical and statistical sciences. ATD, yeah, is anti-threat detection. AMPS is energy. DMS and NLM and NIGMS are together with NIH programs. MMS is not in DMS, it is sociology, measurement. So sometimes statisticians are successful here. The other proposals are essentially not individual. There are several people from university write proposal, or several universities write proposals. These are FRGMS, RTGs, infrastructure, and CBMS. We had one CBMS proposal last year. So CD, S, and E, they put me in charge of this for statistics when I arrived there. This is proposal in which you flip the application. So usual proposal is that you have the theory, methodology, and then you illustrate this on some application. This one is opposite. You take application, and to talk in terms of application, it could be any application in science, but then also you develop the theory and have intellectual merit that it justifies funding. So I think about those CDS and E as flipped proposals. And often, if you have good proposal in the statistics, you can take this proposal, and if you have good application, you cannot get two proposals at the same time, and they have to be different a little bit, because everything is visible there. When you submit proposal, when program officers goes, puts your name, opens everything about you, and answer. So you cannot have multiple proposals. Some people, to increase chances, submit two proposals to the same program, and that is viewed very badly. When they see two proposals from the same person, they say, this guy should write one proposal good and not two. Check this call for if you're interested. But this one is about 50, 60 proposals a year. Is from statistics. Sometimes statisticians are successful in algorithms for threat detection, change point analysis, or some methodology that is useful in this context. The power systems, distribution of solar things, or spatial statistics. This is together with NIH, involving the biological applications. If you go to mathematical biology, there is a difference. You don't talk about human health. Human health is NIH. But if you have, for example, biology, animals, biological issues, genomics, that is NSF. This is this SPES, MMS. It is not mathematics. Social, behavioral, economic sciences. Statisticians are useful, successful here. So these are, now I will skip those because of time. This is within university. You have focused research groups, and you have major challenge. It could be, in addition to statisticians, employment of researchers from the domain sciences, mathematicians, engineers, research training groups, conferences and travel. These are easy money, not often awarded. If you write for conference, this is the biggest bang for the buck. For example, conference will of 30, 40,000 will accommodate 100, 150 people for a couple of days in some academic environment. So sometimes you may decide to go for conference in your area of research or workshop. So check the TMS webpage for funding opportunities and deadlines, and subscribe. Now, when you become assistant professors, you may ask to be a panelist, but it is better if you go for proposal first and then be asked by NSF to come for the panel. You may also contact the program officer. The best way to learn how to write proposal is to sit there 2 days and get about 60 proposals and discussion and everything. Now it is interesting part, how to write a grant proposal. I don't know, I found this on the slides of some other program officers when I was at NSF. It does not really ring well with me, but maybe it will ring with you. Grant writing is like playing the stock market. There is seldom a guarantee that your efforts will be rewarded, but the more you know about the process and more you use this knowledge, the greater probability for success. People think that NSF is perfect. Well, not. Panel has 60 proposals. They come to group of people, maybe 15 panelists. And each panelist is responsible for 12 proposals, maybe. And each proposal gets 3 evaluators. So you have a little bit chance there that the 3 people who look at your proposal will understand what you want to do, will be sympathetic to the methodology, and will sort of support that. So usually the proposals are put in 3 columns. Left column, which is strongly supported. Middle column, which is iffy. And the right column, which is not supported by panel. Well, first column is about 10% of proposals. 6, 7, 5. Middle column is about 15. And the rest, maybe 40, is the right column, not awarded. But you bet that among the 40, there are very good proposals. And there is an issue of luck. So if you are writing proposal, and you're going to reject it, don't think that this is a really bad proposal. Maybe luck was bad. I have myself example. I gave this to Alan. You may take a look. That proposal that I gave to Alan was awarded second time. First time it was rejected. I changed the date. updated references, we submit if it's awarded. So it depends on 3 people whom you get to read your proposal. Yes?
Are they randomly assigned?
They are not randomly assigned. The reviewers or panelists, they get a list of proposals in the first page. And on the list of proposals, they have 3 choices. I would like to grade this or evaluate this proposal. I'm okay, and please don't give me this proposal. And there is a 4th one, which is I have conflict of interest if it happens that somebody is from the same school. And then program officers are looking and trying to match a, I would like to grade a proposal. So it is not random. So when you write proposal, it is critically important that you read very carefully the solicitation. What really are the program is supporting. And what are required elements. If you see word should, you should have this or you should. The should is must. And I am going to talk more about this boilerplate versus meat, especially in broader impacts of your proposal. When you say, well, I'm going to put every effort to educate, or, well, I'm going to put my course on, I'm going to develop a course. All these are boilerplate because they expect it to be there. You have to be very specific with your broader impacts. What does it mean being specific? Checking what amenities school has. Be specific with the names of people. If you want your, for example, to involve undergraduate students, or if you want to involve even K-12, you may say, I went to Bryan school, high school, I met or I agreed with person XYZ to have exposure of students to my methodology, to my research, or something like that. You have to be specific. You have to make these to be believable. So what makes proposals strong? There are several of these questions. What? New original ideas. You have to be very clear there. How? How you're going to approach those. Preliminary data and preliminary results. This is a tricky one because you don't want to have no preliminary results, but you don't want to have too much of the preliminary results. And this is one point where reviewers who want to push your proposal to the left-hand side would say, well, it is good preliminary results, but if they want to push to the right-hand side, they would say it is already done. A lot of results are there. Why me? This is very important. Why I am good to be paid money by government to do this? Do I have experience in previous research? If you are doing proposal in something completely unrelated to your CV, something very high, you're not really making believable statement that you can do it.
But how about like if you want to switch the areas? So for example, you've been working in one area, you got interested in another area, you want to work in it, you need money for this. So how would
you switch the area first by some research and some results.
Oh.
If you are just having research in A and you say this is proposal for B and no results, then it makes a little bit difficult for them to give you money. Why it is important? You have to emphasize why it is important and why now. So what? Clarity, connection, future directions. If I did it, what will happen? Broader impacts. Well-articulated broader impacts. We are going to talk more about broader impacts. You have two parts of the proposal. You have intellectual merits, which carries out the proposal. But if you don't have good broader impacts, then the proposal will be short. Intellectual merit is what the name says. It is really intellectual. It is criterion that your research, that your methodology has potential to advance the knowledge. It is the quality of your research. Broader impact is the criterion that will benefit society, either through education or through application of your research to society. Now, there is a small trick here. If you have, for example, methodology that helps biology, that is not broader impact. That is intellectual merit. You can say that. If your research helps other science, it is merit. Broader impact is your research helps society, societal impact. Intellectual merit, typical questions during the review process, why this work is important. How will the work advance the field generally? What is new in the proposed approach? Novelty. It is very dangerous to take research which is beaten to death for years and years. And you need really to see what is new, to follow what methods are new, because there you have good chance to do something new. If you do, for example, Fourier analysis, which is from 19th century, it's done. Or something like that. Now, how do you write? This is very critical. Typically, new researchers, new proposers, write proposal as a paper. Introduction, theorem, proof. That is not good. You have to provide introduction, good introduction, but for a layman, for somebody who is not expert. Even expert, if your introduction is good, would appreciate that. And then put the proposed work into a context. You really are not the only one on the planet. Somebody else thought about it maybe different way. You really have to be honest and then put in the context and put the plan. Usually the last page of your proposal is table with plan. First year, this, second year, this, third year, this. It helps a lot. There is also tone that you have to be careful, and that is that you have to be a little bit, not to shoot yourself in the leg, but a little bit critical and a little bit open to possibility that things will not work. If you are saying, this is the best thing ever that I'm going to develop, it is going to resolve all problems of humanity, it is not going to be taken well. So some sort of, modesty. After all, people who read that are humans, and they would like to sort of feel human from you. Broader impact. Education to research involvement. Courses advising is boilerplate. But if you are specific about the courses, if you have somebody who you advise that you put the name, If you, for example, say that you would like to put the course on the web, YouTube or something like that, or to have some novel way to deliver this education that goes a long way. Broadening participation, they don't have this Texas SB 17 bill, but NSF, you really can say that you would be working with underrepresented groups. You would like to work with undergraduate students, but be careful. You cannot have very high theory, functional data analysis and statistics, topological statistics, and then go to the high school. You have to somehow measure this. And if you are using high school as one of these, going to high school to educate kids, then you may say how you're going to do that. Not directly what your proposal is doing, but to explain how kids will understand that. Any other potential benefit for society, maybe health arena, maybe some other, but societal benefit. But key thing is education. So when reviewers are looking at your proposal, they are looking for novelty. This is dangerous. Potentially transformative concepts. You are playing here with fire. Potentially transformative concepts. It is very hard to get to those. But if you get, this is amazingly good. So for example, something which nobody did, and that has some potential to be transformative. And you say, this is potentially transformative. Going 1 epsilon on somebody else's work is not good. So it has to have some novelty, which is sort of yours. Now, you don't need to do it or show it. You should convince people that you can do it. And you should sort of formulate how you are going to do this, what is known. So the plan should be well-reasoned, well-organized, based on a sound rationale. This is tricky, how the plan, how you know that you succeeded. Well, in some areas, you know, if it is in chemistry, you know exactly how you measure success. You made your element or whatever. Here it is a little bit tricky how you develop plan and mechanism for assessing the success. Well, you proved the event, you know, we made it's working. This is important. How qualified is individual and team? So your CV should be important there. If you have KPIs, then they should be really connected with the problem. If you are doing statistics in applied area, it is very healthy to have KPI in that area, domain science, that gives some legitimacy, gives some confidence that you will succeed. However, be careful because adding KPIs that increases the price of your proposal. And with increased price of proposals, scrutiny goes up. So I can tell you one thing. The lowest scrutiny is for new assistant professors. But when the senior people come and ask for $2 million, then it is looked under the microscope. Some of them get. Are there adequate resources available to the PI? They are. this is, the schools are good. You will get probably letters from the school that they will support. This is mostly for the science in the lab. If the school has a lab that you can do your research in the lab. So review process, TMS runs about 70 panels. At least 3 reviewers for each proposal. There is panel discussion. Each proposal is discussed and then placed on the board. Now it is an electronic board. But when I started with NSF long ago, there was yellow stickers, and then you just put yellow sticker on the board. Now it is electronic, but same board. Left-hand side, middle, right-hand side. There is 8 to 16 panelists. Typically runs 2 days, maybe 2.5 days, and reviews between 30 and 60 proposals. Then, when panel is over and the location of the stickers is agreed upon by everybody, the program officers make funding decisions. Essentially, program officers propose to the administration because ultimately the budget office makes decision formally. But program officer will tell you your proposal is recommended for funding. If you get this statement from program officer, your proposal is recommended. This is it. You are funded. But the program officer cannot tell you you are funded because there is this institution. Many times, almost always, there is you're asking too much, and you should. So, for example, if you have a proposal with student and you want to buy out and you have copy I, you ask for 350, 400,000, 300,000, and you will get 200,000. And the reason why you will get 200,000, NSF tries to have as many recipients as possible. Very, very mindful, I am assuring you, very mindful of new assistant professors. So you will get proposal back to rebudget. Don't do this. Don't say, well, okay, I'm rebudgeting, but I'm doing the same work. You have to tell them what things from your proposal you're cutting. Otherwise, they will return back. They will say, well, you budgeted 400,000, we give you 200,000, and you say you're doing the same work. So that is, be careful there. When you're rebudgeting, tell them exactly what you excluded. Okay, few tips for proposals. If the proposal fits the program, for you guys, if you go to statistics program, it fits always. Compliance, well, that is, for example, compliance for career proposals. You have to check on compliance. Keep audience in the mind. Non-experts and experts. But I can tell you, I'm assuring you, that even experts appreciate non-expert explanation in your proposal. Very clear what you want to do on very first page. This proposal is about this, this, and this. And I'm going to use this, this, and this. I will tell you why this is important. Program officers get to write report about proposals. There are maybe 4 of us for the panel, and we divide these proposals, so we have to write reports. So when I write reports, I would like to do cut and paste. And if the proposal is very clear, I want to do this, this, and this using that, it makes me feel good. But it is very important that you don't make stories. Don't make, and then people are, so what is going on? Be very direct there. Clear address what is novel. Because most of the proposals are rejected because there is no novelty or there is incremental novelty. That is the main reason. Project summary is the first page there, followed by 15 pages of the proposal. That first page is critical because reviewers are reading this page first. And if this page is not good, they already make opinion and going to proposal just to justify that opinion. The same when you review a paper. So you review paper by first leafing through the paper. And then you see what's going on and you get opinion. And on the second round, you go through the paper carefully and justify your first impression most of the time. So this one is most important. This first page, give to your colleagues. Talk to your colleagues to read this one. Does it read good?
Are there any good examples proposals?
I gave one to Alan. Alan was asking me because Alan was mentioned that he was asked by students for some successful proposals. I do have proposals that I have, but I cannot share them because I'm not allowed. But I'm allowed to share my proposal. So here, pretty much all senior people have a bunch of proposals which are funded. I personally funded David's proposal, for example. At the time, I did not know that I am coming to Texas A&M. I was approached at the end of my NSF, but that happened. And Huyans as well. But at the time, I did not know. If I knew that would be violation, it would be conflict of interest. That you fund people from your school or school that you intend to go. So ask people who have successful proposal. They are willing to share, most of them. Make it readable, not too technical, not theorem, not proof. If it is theorem, you can put theorem, but not really proof. You can say result or something like that. Make it easily readable. If you apply for conference, and I suggest that you as new assistant professor may want to organize a workshop or conference in the area of your expertise, to invite some people, make some academic commotion at your department. Positive. These are easy. Most of the funds goes to participants, especially to young researchers. Keynote speakers and invited speakers should be identified. In conferences, don't mention lunches and food. NSF hates that. All the money will go to young researchers. Don't say that. Well, ultimately, you will find some money for coffee and food. You can charge budget the space venues. And this is critical. In the conference, it is not sort of random, whoever applies. You have to specify exactly who is the committee and what is the basis of selecting the participants. How not to get funded? I've done some good work, send the money. Here are some fascinating problems. The end. I saw proposal completely rejected and the panelists mad font size small. So for example, you write proposal and you realize that you have 17 pages. And anything that you would remove would sort of impair the proposal. So what you do, you change the font. This is no. So stick with the font because that will make people upset. How not to get funded. You did not really convey why this is important that you're doing. And you did not describe how you differ from other approaches, how you differ from the work which is already done. This is tricky one. Should your references be long or short? Should you try to include everything which is in the field or just few key things? It depends. If you include everybody in the field, but you miss the analyst that looks at the proposal, you're in big trouble. Then maybe people say, let's put the key references smaller. So this is really something you should. Often the reviewers say, well, nice, but the work of these guys or the work of these guys is not covered, not mentioned. So be careful to give credit to everybody doing the work in your area. I mentioned that, giving no indications of potential difficulties. You said, I'm going to do everything, don't worry. Everything is going to be super. Well, you may be a little bit careful with wording to say that there are difficulties potentially, but if I cannot prove it by methodology ABC, I will try to do numerical simulations and then D, E, and F. This is another. If your broader impacts are boilerplate, meaning just no different than everybody's else, then it is a big problem. So I guess this is more how not to get funded. Title is important. Are we okay? There are some classes?
Yes.
Okay. Let me then say this in a title is important. You put things on archive. No. The panelists are online, and if they find results on archive, you're lost. So keep things not posting on archive for the proposal. When you get proposal and pass, put on archive. Presentation as a paper, I mentioned no. Typos, when they see typos on the first page, this is doomed. So make sure to give a proposal to quite a few people to read. Inadequate budget. Submitting proposal in NIH format. That is really bad for NIH, for NSF. They have a little bit tension because NIH has more money. And if they see NIH type proposal, they think this is recycled proposal rejected at NIH. So don't put aim 1, aim 2, aim 3 or NIH jargon. Using much less than 15 pages. If you submit proposal, you have to measure to have 15 pages stock. Not less, not more, exactly. If you are having some space, put something. This is critical. You use all 15 pages. Data management plan. This is not part of proposal. There is accompanied thing, data management. You will say, well, data is going to be well managed. There are some jargon. You can get this data management plan from the school. Submitting proposal to multiple programs. Everything is visible. Don't do that. Submit the rejected proposal next year without revision. That's what they say. I say, if you reject it, do revision. Don't follow blindly responses, because you get new 3 people. So you have rejected proposals, responses are there, and you follow responses, and these 3 people new say, well, not really, we like this as it was before. So be very careful about following the responses. If they're making sense, follow them. But if they're very particular, driving you somewhere, then be careful. This one, there are a couple of cases when people try to increase chances, thinking they increase chances by 50%, they actually decreases. It's just multiple proposals. Check this PAPPG document. It has everything about writing proposals. Looking for panelists, volunteer, but it is useful that you already have a proposal. The reason for that is the following. If you have a proposal for NSF, you cannot be a panelist. So as long as you're submitting proposal, you cannot be a panelist. But once you get proposal, then go for panelist. I will let you go, guys. Questions, comments? You're always welcome to drop by if you have any question about proposal or writing proposals. These slides are available. Take those when you become assistant professors. Leaf through the slides before writing proposal. Thank you.
Vidakovic, for this wonderful talk. And thank you all for attending, and sorry for the interruption in between. And see you.
Thank you for invitation to give you talk about proposals. It is good for you to get those. Jose, you tell me, is it successful or not?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one.
Jose has proposal.
No. I think it's all